Okay, so that's what I'm left to fit. So 2 smaller bolts, so that's going to be for the rod, the stabilizer that goes at the back. 4 longer, which are going to be these 4, 1, 2, and 2 the other side. Oh, I'm not even pointing at them. These 4 here, here, 2 the same the other side. The original bolt that goes in the passenger foot peg, so they just go back in. So that will slip under that like the Triumph one. So these need to come out. I'm hoping the nuts on the other side are captive because it's very tight to get in. Let's see. Yeah, they are captive, so that's great. These are dead easy to get out. Dead easy. Right, looks like these will go in handy enough. So 2 bolts it came with. There's my Allen key, Allen key, Allen key. So I'll just do these in loose for now. If you want, you can put some thread lock on there, but it's really not necessary on these. There was none on them. But everything's going to be quite taut on this, so this thing's not going to move once it's in. So I won't do it up completely tight yet. I'll leave that a bit loose. Don't want it a bit too much. Now, this foot peg. You can already see this is going to be a little bit out of line, but it'll go in without too much grief. He says I need to loosen these others off a tiny bit more, I think. It's very loose. Right, that's it. It's Torx head on this, Allen keys on the rest. So that's nice. That went in easy, really. So I'll leave that loose until I get the right hand side on. So just the same again on the other side. Right, the kit comes with these spacers, and that's to put behind the front foot peg bolt to even this back out once you put that in there. But if you had the Triumph kit on before, you'll have a spacer like that in there anyway. I can see it in mine, but just check on yours, make sure Triumph or whoever put the bags on or pannier racks on didn't miss that out. So there should be a spacer there to make up for that being there, but it's already on mine, so they'll be redundant if you're doing the Triumph Givi swap. So everything is still loose, so I just need to put the brace bar across the back. So bolt sits at the back, nut to the front. So again, I can just put those on by hand loosely. Now I will say, I didn't have to struggle getting any of the nuts and bolts in, as long as you leave it loose. A tiny bit of a push on the other side, but what you find, you might need to loosen both of the Torx nuts on the foot pegs. So that's the whole thing assembled, but everything is loose. So all I've got to do is go around and tighten everything up now. Right, that's them on. Very sturdy. I thought I'd measured the overall width of the Triumph ones, which is symmetrical, at 101 centimeters. Something like that, 100, 101. Where these are 47 left, 49 right. So you can see a bit more of a gap here than on this left-hand side. just clearing the exhaust. So they've pulled this left one in slightly compared to Triumph. The Triumph one will sit slightly out of it. Can you notice it? A little bit, looks a little bit lopsided, but not desperate. Nothing that you'd worry about for the benefit you're getting out of it. So you can see now, we're down. I would say we're down. Oh wow. You can't see it on the, where's my tape measure? You can't, well, first off, look at this huge amount of foot room I've regained. I'll take that other photograph where I had the two boots on there in the same position in the front and the back, show you the difference. So loads more boot space now. Perfect. We're a good bit back here. I'll measure those. And good bit down on the seat. So Pillion's legs are going to come down and get over this corner a lot easier. I'd say we're down, let's have a look. Yeah, 3 or 4 inches, but somewhere between 3 or 4 inches down. And I reckon we're going to be at least 3 inches further back than these pegs. Let's measure it actually, because I have that exact measurement. Okay, from the tip of the pillion to the box, 160 mil. So I was at 87. So I've gained 70 odd, 73 mil. So it doesn't sound like much. I've gained that much, but it's an awful lot to a pillion, I think, compared to what they had. As I say, the downside, if you're solo, you've lost that platform a little bit. That flat platform on the top of the panniers onto the rear seat. But it's a very small price to pay for the pillion. I originally thought I might swap these back and forward, but I don't think I would, because this whole job has probably taken me an hour, and that's having the tools in place. Having said that now, it's 1 Torx, 1 Allen key, and a 12mm spanner. It requires virtually no tools to do it. But I don't think I'd keep chopping and changing it back, to be honest. So you can see I'm sitting a fair bit away from that axis there of the rear wheel. Used to be central to the panniers. It's moved a fair bit back now. So I just need to be aware of that as well. All in all, a good conversion, I think, for pillion comfort. But I'll put that picture up at those boot positions up there now. Let's have a look. Oh, I'll send me a bloody alarm off. I better have my keys. You never know. Right. Oh yeah, that's a much more natural seating position. I mean, the pillion footrests are a foot wider than the rider foot pegs, so that reduces some of the interference. But now I just have so much room. That pillion's not going to be sitting there, resting their heel on that. And there's no interference with your calf there. So even if you're taller, you might get a bit of interference with your calf, but whatever size you are now, that's going to clear it completely. So that's very good. Wow, I'm hot. It's hot outside. So that's the job. Use the Givi rails, lower the Triumph panniers, take the Triumph top box off. It's too much into your back. That'll allow the pillion to sit more upright. Put something else here. Cool. Now it's the perfect tourer for 2-up. It was a perfect tourer before that. Now it's the perfect tourer for 2-up. The Triumph position did look a little better, but it's not terrible. You'd forget about it in 5 minutes. So although they are situated a little bit further back for weight distribution, they are a little bit lower. So what you gain with one, you lose with the other, and vice versa. I don't think it'll make any difference to me at all in the feel of the bike. So that's a bit of a combo, changing the Givi rails, for the Triumph rails for the Givi rails, and does this bike make a good tourer? Well, it makes a brilliant tourer now, and a brilliant two-up tourer. Just something for the backrest, as say my tour roll. Oh yeah, that's what I'm going to show you. Yeah, don't buy expensive straps. Go to B&Q, any hardware shop. You get these cam buckle tie downs. So here's 2 cam buckle tie downs, €4.29 I think they were. And yeah, I keep saying roll, what do I see? Tool roll. I mean roll bag, not tool roll. Excuse me. So, 2.5 meters. So all you need to do is match it to your luggage, tie it down, see how much excess you have left over, then just cut that with a pair of scissors at an angle to create a threading, and then just, it'll fray a bit, just get a lighter and just close off the end. So $4.29. Cam buckle tie down, B&Q, perfect. Let's get the roll bag on. So there's my Lomo tool bag with those tie down straps. Pretty solid. So I just need to chop that lighter, get rid of the fray, chop that bit. So 2 straps, €4, and they're really strong. They'll never break. Pretty sturdy clamps actually. So there's my new two-up touring outfit. Okay, not quite as nice as having a aluminium top box, but it'll do the job admirably. Yeah, just make sure your little green tabs come back out when you put your panniers on to show they're fitting properly. I tell you, the fit on the right hand side by the arrow can is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. That was a way back on my with the Triumph panniers. It wasn't even touching, so that's a great fit. It's a lovely fit. So all in all, a tiny bit narrower, a few centimeters narrower, slightly offset, a good bit in on the left, but that's okay. It's a lovely view from the Pillion. Yeah, with that top box out now, that's much better. The roll bag's providing a nice back support, bit of comfort. The room for the Pillion foot now is fantastic. It's completely out of the way now. It's completely out of the way of the rider. So, cool. All ready for Pillion and a tour. Just need this thing to go, that we're not allowed to ride bikes yet. They're very strict with the lockdown in Ireland, very strict. No more than 5 kilometres from your house. Now look at the difference. It's absolutely incredible. It's such a big difference. So much more room there. So the pannier rails are floored for 2-up. Not for solo, but for 2-up they are floored. And the top box is floored for 2-up. It's far too far forward. There's just no room on that rear seat. It's just not comfortable for the Pillion. So ditch that for 2 up, put something else there for passenger comfort. You know how Pillions like something behind them, it gives them a bit of sense of safety. Much more foot room for them. Much more room over here, so their calves and end of their thighs aren't rubbing on the end of the panniers. The only thing I did notice, when they were slightly higher up in Triumph, it was a bit kind of easier to grab, something to hold on to, something like that. But that's minor in comparison to the positive benefits of lowering them and moving them back. I mean, they're sitting a good bit back on that axle now. Kind of level with the rear of the bike, really. I think it's a good look, actually. It's not too bad. I think I'll keep those on. I don't think I'll keep chopping and changing them. Just make sure, when I was doing the pannier rails, I kept getting a bit of a gap here. This one wasn't closing up properly. And what it was, on one of the rails, one of the flat spots where the bolt goes through, that just needed filing down 0.5 millimeter. My catch wasn't catching quite properly, and I wasn't getting a nice green bar there. So that was the only minor adjustment. Otherwise, the rails went on very, very easy and very quickly, really. Yeah, stop the press. If you go onto Triumph's configurator page and you choose the pannier rails, it looks like they've changed the pannier rails, and it looks like Triumph have moved theirs back. Now they're still the same height, so the panniers are level with the back seat, but it looks like they've moved them back to the Givi position. So same height, but further back. That's taken quite a few years to do that. So if you like your panniers level with the rear seat, but further back, and that suits you, that still may not suit you, but it may suit a lot of people. Looks like Triumph have changed their rack, but by God, they know how to charge for it though. It's something like £450 sterling. I got these for less than 150 for the Givi ones. So they've made some changes by the looks of it, for the better anyway.